This week's episode of The Realist is brought to you by SWA Sabers. SWA Sabers make the best damn lightsabers in the world. I know because I'm buying one. And I got two for free. I gave them to a bunch of other knuckleheads and let them duel
So
it out.
did you get the indestructible one or did you get the cosmetics?
I got the cosplay one. I just want to mount it. I don't give a rat's. I mean, I know kung fu. I can easily
Oh,
defend myself. I don't need no lightsaber.
that song, everyone was kung fu fighting. They wrote that about James.
Hell yeah, they did. There's a lot of songs that have been written by this guy. All right, just letting you know. But
So
anyways,
let's play the
yeah,
SWA Saber video.
yes. So this week's episode is brought to you by SWA Sabers, best lightsabers in the world. Buy one get two free. Black Friday special and ongoing. SWA Sabers. We got Fruit Cat in the house too. Holy cow!
Fruit Cat is going to be in future AFW films.
Yeah,
He's got his own Saturday morning cartoon show, Fruit Cat and Friends.
I like it. Let's talk about stuff.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I got
Kimmy gets impatient. Kimmy gets impatient.
I think, in all honesty, it's really awesome that on the 5th year of this channel that we get to do one of my guilty pleasure, but very loud and proud. We're talking wrestling movies. I got some wrestling fanatics, but I also have movie fanatics too, and that makes a huge advantage for us. So anyways, top 10 wrestling films. I am James, and this is The Realist. Ooh, man, oh man. I am James. I'm a filmmaker. Primarily, I am a editor. I used to be a first AD, and excuse me, I'm a cinematographer. But I've done this for 2+ decades, yo. Still grinding. Still have that indie mentality. Always have. Always will. Let's go down to the guy with the red hat. Wait, I'm me, brother.
Oh, that's me. Oh shit. How's it going, folks? Been a minute because couldn't get on for the longest time. Your Red Flag King. Now not even self-proclaimed anymore. The official Red Flag King of AFW.
Yeah.
Mr. Showtime. And I couldn't be prouder to be on an episode about movies with the one with about wrestling. So thank you very much for having me tonight.
Absolutely.
On the post day of my birthday.
Hell yeah. Welcome aboard, my friend. Girl in the corner. You don't have a baby in the corner.
What?
Caught me off guard. Yo, what up? I'm Kimmy. New to this. My third, I think, for the film podcast, and I'm here to talk about the good wrestling movies.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then this guy over here. Lay it on me, brother.
I'm the Podfather. I'm gonna make you I'm making an offer you can't refuse.
There you go.
I am, of course, the founder of AFW.
Yeah.
I'm Cat F Dry. I'm Aaron, and I'm here to talk about some shitty ass movies. Some of them are shitty. But we're here to talk about some good wrestling movies too.
They're shitty though in the best possible way. Don't let that enthusiasm no. I mean, let's
If
be
I get
honest.
to come on here and shit on Hulk Hogan's movie,
So let's get into kind of the history of professional wrestling movies, like movies about pro wrestling. Because really it's really started in the 50s and the 60s in Mexico with El Santos, Blue Demon. You had your top Mil Mascaras had these movies where they would fight demons or they would fight, bad guys, and they would do stuff to the bad guys, and they would fight vampires and werewolves and shit. And that is freaking amazing. And then you have that carny mentality all the way through the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, but then you start getting serious because it took the internet to explode for the dark aspects of wrestling, like the Von Erichs. The Von Erich family is a cursed family. Fritz Von Erich, all but one of his sons, well, I'm sorry, all but two of his sons took their lives. Some of them shot themselves in the head. His very first child died. It got electrocuted while it was standing in a puddle in front of the house. And you need that. You could never have told this story in the 50s and 60s, maybe in the 70s, but it would be hugely indie. It would be absolutely hugely indie. So it would have a very small audience. It would need time to grow to realize you're dealing with really deep topics. And that's Iron Claw, but you know, you start kind of kicking in gear, Aronofsky kind of leaping up the ledge with The Wrestler and saying, you can tell a good story and have it be about professional wrestling. And that's when you start realizing that, yeah, that it's not a circus. There's reality to a lot of these characters. That's why you remember good characters. That's why you remember good characters. Because you have the three-dimensional. Because you look at the Von Erich kids now, come on, it doesn't cross your mind. We'll get all to that. We'll get all to that because there's some deep topics. There are some that are not so deep. We did include documentaries because it is an art form. As a person who has worked on documentaries, it is a true art form. I kid you not. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of start ranking. We're going to start ranking the movies because we wanted to pick the 10 best wrestling movies of all time, and that's saying a lot because, again, as Aaron has said, you're damn right. For a fact, there's some really cornball shitty ones, in such a good way. Like, it's required viewing in order for you to go ahead and do that. So if you guys are ready, buckle in.
I'm buckled in. I'm buckled in.
Let's get the
Everybody,
show on the road.
yeah,
Yep.
because yeah, we're gonna rip and ride. And I mean, Joe's on the show. I mean, he's just buckle in, Joe. Come for a ride with us. I swear, it's gonna be good. Let's go to the first one. I'm gonna play a clip. I'm illegally allowed to play this clip because it's a certain length. Because I'm a good thinker. Also, I know copyright like tomorrow. So, but I'm going to introduce this number 10 by playing a video really quick. Hang on. You ready? Here we go.
What's that smell?
Yeah, we're talking about this movie right here. This is what happens when you, as an investor, give Vince McMahon total autonomy over one specific thing, and that's make a movie about professional wrestling starring the greatest known, worldwide known, universally known number one wrestler of that time, Hulk Hogan, who has ties to another movie on this list. But before we get into No Holds Barred, actually, no, I'm going to save the trivia question for when we get to that movie. Yeah. So let's talk about No Holds Barred. Shane, I know you're a little younger than me. I'm in the post on the low corner of the foul line, getting ready to post up and dunk. I'm 53.
This is one where I'm gonna have to throw the assist on the goal. I just watched it. It was so when I watched it was in my era as a single digit child, and it would be on Saturday morning on like say the local Fox affiliate. We playing it on Saturday afternoon. But my memories of this is so bleak. It's just that time when Vince McMahon really marketed the hell out of people like Hulk Hogan and try to bastardize and make as much money as possible because it's also the same era as the rock and roll wrestling cartoon and stuff for that. So
Yeah. That's a whole episode right there. Just talk about that cartoon because that cartoon was spooky at times.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kimmy?
Well, I mean, if you want to watch a really tacky 80s movie about wrestling, this is the one to watch.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the Dookie scene, what's that smell?
Yeah.
Repeat.
Yeah.
And just the acting was terrible. Like, I watched it a long time ago, and then I made my husband watch it. And he's like, "Are you sure I'm going to like it?" I'm like, "Justin, you think farts are funny? You are going to like this movie." He loved it.
Yeah.
Like, he loved it. I was like, "How can you love this movie?" He's like, This is great comedy."
Yeah.
I mean, and Zeus, I couldn't handle all the grunting. Like, I think he might have spoken 2 words through the whole thing.
You want to know why? Because he wasn't an actor back then. That's how he got into acting.
Oh God, it was horrible.
He was a wannabe pro wrestler. That's how Vince found him.
Well, that's my 2 cents on an 80s tacky wrestling movie with fart humor.
Yeah. That guy right there.
I remember like when this came out.
Yeah.
We saw it at the theater.
I did too.
Of course you did.
Oh yeah, I was a big Hulk Hogan fan at that time.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think they screwed up. They should have been Hulk Hogan playing himself, playing the Hulk Hogan character.
Oh, he was playing himself.
He was playing a Rip. His name was Rip or something like that.
Yeah, because there's a reason why they couldn't use Hulk Hogan. He was going to be called Hulk Hogan. The original script has him labeled as Hulk Hogan.
Oh, they weren't allowed because something to do with the Marvel situation there or something?
It has to do with Marvel.
Okay, so he didn't own it at that point.
Yeah, they own the film rights to the name Hulk.
So because I think had the movie been Hulk Hogan centric,
yeah,
it would have been more iconic, and you could have included some other wrestlers in there too.
Yeah, I 100%.
Just more a WWF themed movie.
Yeah. The thing about that movie Here's the dark side of the. I mean, I'm kind of in a mischievous mood. I want to kind of talk about the dark side of this movie because WWE produced the movie. This is Vince McMahon's first time producing a movie. The director of the movie, who I met and has spoken out about this, has said that I in no way, shape, or form, all I yelled was action and cut. And the reality is, he probably didn't call that because that's what first ADs do. First ADs are the ones who yell action and cut, not directors. Lessons. Boom. But Vince didn't want to finance it. He got an outside investor. Then refused to do WWE, anything with WWE, because one, he wanted to, just in case it failed, which it did, it bombed.
Yeah.
And two, he didn't want to tarnish his name. And three, he couldn't get the Hulk Hogan name because Hulk was already owned by Marvel, film wise, already to Universal. That makes sense. So,
But I think this movie is if you want to sit and just have fun making fun of the movie,
yeah,
that'd be entertaining as fuck just to sit and watch and
it
100%
tries to pretend it's acting, but the reality is that if you really want to see the grit and grime of professional wrestling and kind of the behind the scenes, watch this movie because there's a big message in there. What you're seeing is in reality how professional wrestling actually really is. You know, I mean, I have friends who work in production. I've worked for several promotions over the years, so yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's go to number 9.
What was the basic story of this movie? I'm trying to remember.
I
don't think they wanted him to be on their channel. The rival broadcast company wanted him to do a show for their network.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't take their money.
Yeah.
So they started that whole other wrestling thing in the bar to get the tough guys to beat that program on the other network.
Yeah. I mean, it's a precursor to a lot of stuff of what's going on in pro wrestling right now. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like tribalism. There is two competing companies. Like, it all makes sense, yo. You just gotta watch it. You gotta watch it with an altered state. It's Flintstone vitamins, yo.
Yeah.
Maybe Flintstone vitamins will be our sponsor one day. You never know.
Oh, I hope so. I'm working on something actually. I have to tell you. Remind me to tell you later.
Yeah.
So we're going with ridiculous to less ridiculous
by about this
much. By like a razor thin margin. Like so razor thin you couldn't see, but it could laser beam cut your head through. That's how razor thin we're talking here. All right. I am the law.
Yes.
Oh yes. King me.
Who wants to go first?
I love this. This I actually got memories of because I'm now was in my late childhood, early teens, where WCW was alive and well, and unfortunately this movie really tied into WCW storylines in the long run, including the return of the Triple Cage, which that would be nice to see maybe one day WWE do. I doubtful because arena venue wise and the size of the thing, but that was a fun movie. I mean, it's not the world's greatest. It's not winning awards by any means, but in the later runs, it became a cult classic movie. David Arquette, he literally became a professional wrestling enthusiast with the ties starting with this movie because now the guy's doing death match. It's a guy who almost died a few years ago doing a death match, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the tie-ins, he ended up becoming WCW champion in real life and not just the move. But hey, what's his name? Oh God, Oliver Platt, man, that guy is always a comedic genius. I love his movies, and the fact he somehow played that role. He reminds me of he was the old school Danny McBride. Danny McBride kind of seems a lot of like this guy is now, the influence of the Oliver Platt movies. Then he was a perfect role for. He was a perfect role for the King. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Kimmy. I know you want to slay it.
Oh, not much to slay on this. It was like it's more fart humor, getting kicked in the nads. You know, like it just blew my mind that my brother really liked it. It was a guy movie.
It's a dude movie.
It
wasn't 100% sausage fest.
Yeah, it's not something that I really wanted to watch again, but I did for the show.
Oh, thank you for taking the bullet.
But yeah, like even now, it was just kind of in the background playing because it's not my thing. It's just it wasn't a movie that I cared enough about to pay.
It wasn't made for you.
Yeah,
it was made for the three of us.
It's made for that like fart humor and like frat boy crap.
But it's not even just that. As if I could take over from here. It was that fanboy.
Yeah.
In all of us.
Absolutely.
Like you felt like you were him. Like you were chasing your favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart and all these guys and all these people. Like you wanted them to sign your autograph and just like, what would King do? Like that's how devoted he was.
And you wanted to be a pro wrestler at that age too. Whether you had the actual development, but just when you say you lived through the characters, it's like you wanted to be a pro wrestler like David Arquette did in that movie.
Yeah.
And there was some good comedy in this movie.
Yeah.
Like I found there was some good comedy, and I think it should be ranked higher. But you are the professional, James.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think it should be a little bit higher too. Not by much. Maybe
not by
7.
much. Not by much.
8 or 7. I mean, Ready to Rumble. There's a really dark side to Ready to Rumble, and we'll kind of talk about that later in this episode. So I'll save the dark side. The funny part is like, I mean, Joseph Graham agrees. Hey, if you agree, brother, come on the show. Fight.
Fight.
I'm like Orange Cassidy right now, dude. I'm just like, I'm going to put my hands in my pocket. Nah. Like, whatevs. I love Ready to Rumble. But again, the reason why Joseph Graham is passionate about this and the reason why every male who's got any level of testosterone will fight you for is just how accessible this is. It's basically softcore porn without getting to actual porn. Like, there's a locker room scene, the Nitro Girls, and they don't even, most of them don't even have lines, and the one that does, Rose McGowan, barely has any lines. She's barely in the story. She just kind of does a swerve, and that's it. And you're like, what? That's professional wrestling, guys. That's the reason why most people won't admit to liking this movie, because they'll be like, oh, well, the storyline. Yeah, this thing's got plot holes you can drive a shuttle through.
I've never heard anyone talk bad about this movie.
I have.
And I know, but you're in a different sort of field. Like,
yeah, I have a very different circle of friends that I stand up to them because they ridicule this movie. Like, it makes no sense. Like, I don't understand why you would. Yeah, it's not. It did win awards. It won the Razzie, which is usually given to the worst movie of that year. Critics will often, if uses as a barometer.
But you know what this movie really does?
Yeah.
It kind of resets the moviedom of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Hulk Hogan's like just left a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
This one, if you were really into wrestling at that point, you would have loved this movie. Anyone
Yeah.
who was really into wrestling in that timeline.
Like
Yeah.
I said, my brother, my dad, Justin loved it. But from a female's perspective, it wasn't the movie.
You know what though? This was also during the WCW versus WWF era, where this is where WCW was getting a one up over WWF, where they had their own actual motion picture out there, which was kind of cool too.
Cena had a cameo in Ready to Rumble.
He did. He was in developmental at some point with the Powerhouse. I don't know if he was working out or something his dad set up, but yeah, he's got a cameo in
And
Ready
he's
to Rumble.
green as grass, right? Green as goose shit.
Green as goose shit. Hell yeah. Number 8, it tortured me to put it where it is because I think it is a amazing documentary. This actually reinvigorated my love for documentaries, and it just happened to be about professional wrestling. And I'll admit, I don't know the guy who did this, but I realized that Imagine Films was behind it, so it had to have some cachet. And that is the production company owned by Ron Howard and his whatever Brian Glazer, and yeah, we're going to be talking about Beyond the Mat, which is this movie is all about dark.
Yeah.
It just is. Nothing in here is celebrated at all. You follow at the very beginning, you follow 2 wrestlers who are trying to break into it. They're indie wrestlers through and through. One of them lives at the gym and trains the trainees. And he totes around dead bodies and whatever else he does to get money. Then you start following Jake the Snake Roberts and Mick Foley, and you realize that there's a dark side to the fame. If you're a professional wrestling fan, Jake the Snake Roberts, you know who he is. If you are not a wrestling fan, he is probably one of the most psychologically disturbing characters that Jake Roberts or whatever he goes by professionally or whatever. Like, listen to his podcast. You hear the pain, the misery of just even trying to remember what it was like in the 80s when, you were popping pills and snorting lines just so you can go ahead and get through the night getting beaten up. And you're wrestling almost every day of the year because wrestling is hot. You go to Mick Foley, and now Jason St. Roberts at this point he's wrestling at county fairs. He's wrestling at VFW. Like, he's not living that life. He tries to reconnect with his daughter. He can't reconnect with his daughter because the road is more important than connecting with his daughter, one of his daughters, at least. And that's really the messed up part. And then you realize, then you go to Mick Foley, and then you realize, like, what do you need to do to sustain? Here's a guy who was wrestling at ECW and death matches in Japan, and now he's rolling up, and Homeboy's playing Mankind, and then he gains the favor of Vince, and then convinces Vince to let him wrestle death matches. Two are highlighted. One of them nearly killed him, and that was a Hell in the Cell match with the Undertaker. And then you go to his I Quit match, where his kids and his wife are front row. Not initially, they were brought up to the front row for the match. His kids already have a problem with watching his matches. And Homeboy takes 12 plus chair shots to the head. Not the back, not the stomach, right on his fucking brain. Homeboy didn't remember where the hell he was at times. He left messages with the guy who was making the documentary and would just ramble for hours. And I guarantee that every time Mick Foley thinks he's going to go back to wrestling, Barry Blostein, the guy who directed and came up with this documentary, calls him and reminds him about the movie. Shane, go.
This was dark in so many ways. That one guy, Mike, the guy that was wearing the Bret Hart themed things, I think finally did get a shot with WCW because they made a big deal when that movie came out. I think he did one or two matches on Thunder or Saturday Night or something like that. Mike Modest or something like that, what his name was.
Yeah, Mike Modest, yeah.
But it was dark. That whole Royal Rumble and seeing the footage of his kids and wife crying, like hysterically crying and freaking out while he's taking those head shots. I'm protected because he's freaking handcuffed.
Yeah.
So he cannot block a single one of those shots. And he was telling Rock to stop. Rock thought he kept saying kept going. So he hit him like 5 or 6 more times than he wanted to be hit in the head, for God's sakes. And then the whole Jake Roberts thing, to find out, and it eventually led to a Dark Side of the Ring documentary about his father and the whole Roberts family. But the fact that you find out how Jake Roberts was born was pretty freaking dark. And that you could see why Jake had a lot of dark sides to him just from that alone. And that movie led to lawsuits too, because Jake Roberts tried to claim at that time, because that's when his head was messed up, that all was all made up, and that he was showing the fake light of him and all that crap. When at that time, a lot of those claims were proven, and with promoters actually like, yeah, if you don't get me drugs, I'm not showing up to your county fair wrestling promotion that day and stuff. Like that. So it was a perfect time. Again, it was my late childhood, early teens. So this movie I could remember a lot more because I was more developed then and stuff for that. But yeah, it was a powerful movie. It was a real powerful movie to show you what the hell is really going on behind the scenes of pro wrestling. And I even think there was some ECW footage of Paul Heyman, if memory serves me correct.
Yeah, Paul Heyman was in there too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Terry Funk, because they were talking
about Terry Funk, the Terry Funk retirement match.
And then the hell, his family again was also at ringside for one of his ECW matches at pay-per-view, and you see them all freaking out and hysterically crying and stuff like that. That hurts.
Yeah.
But
what do you think, Kim?
Well, Shane pretty much summed up everything I was going to say. I mean, it was hard to watch, like, not because it was a bad movie, obviously.
Yeah.
It was just, you don't want to think about that side of it.
Yeah.
And it shined a light on it that, like, I didn't want to see when I first saw it. And now as an adult watching it again, it was just like, it's like, shit.
Yeah.
They go through so much.
Yeah.
So it pretty much said everything I was going to say. So, Aaron?
Sorry, Kimmy.
No worries, buddy.
I think that, like, this movie exposing the light of what was going on at that time in wrestling, because it was a specific time in wrestling with the hardcore stuff that was going on.
No.
I think ECW brought that in. I think Vince copied it, and it really led to some dangerous situations, like with Mick Foley and all these other people that were just taking headshots. And I think that this movie really, like, was negative to pro wrestling
Yes.
in a way that wrestling wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
And I think that started putting wrestling in the right direction again.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why there's so many of our wrestlers die young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're dying in their 40s, they're dying in their 50s.
Yeah.
That's
Unless, I
yeah.
mean, the reality is, unless you're handed the keys to the kingdom, like you're just blessed like John Cena, whether you're blessed like Triple H, whether you, I mean, like, unless you're the chosen one or you're married into it, but wrestling is run by kings,
Yeah.
and the ones that are dying are peasants
Who dream of being kings.
who dream of being kings. I know a lot of really great guys who are professional wrestlers, were professional wrestlers. When I worked for I worked for a documentary company, and I was assigned to film. I was at the Powerhouse in Georgia, right at the height of WCW, beating the shit out of WWE. I'm behind a camera doing a documentary about about professional wrestlers trying to make it into WCW. And the fact is, like, it's dark. Like, it's super dark. I saw guys doing things I wouldn't have done to my body, and I was an athlete, and I was always looking for an advantage. And if I knew that they tested, and when they did, I could cycle properly. But you never know, so surprises just pop up. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I scored four goals. I've never scored 4 goals in a season.
Yeah.
They're going to start going, well, what the hell's going on with James? Next thing you know, I need you to pee right in front of all of us. And me being pee shy, I'm like, talk to you later. I'm going
Smell
to
you later.
huh?
Smell you later.
Smell you later. So, yeah, I mean, Beyond the Mat is just dark, man. It's dark, but it's reality. Like, no, just because nothing ever has a silver lining. I'm just letting you know, there's no such thing.
I just
I
want to
don't
call
care.
Deb to go first on Wrestling with Shadows.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that. Let's go to number 7. Number 7.
Lucky number 7. I liked. Did you like that movie, JP?
Oh, lucky number 11.
I love that movie.
When it initially came out, I hated it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't. It was one of only 3 movies I never sat through the credits. I got up, stormed out, and emailed somebody about it and said, "Don't go see it. It's a Tarantino ripoff." Because that's what it was. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. Jackie Brown just came out. Studios were nervous because Miramax was dropping bombs. And so what do? They just, hey, some poor guy writes in a tagline, a Tarantino says, oh, what? I'm signing a check for $1 billion. Thank you, movie check. Woo-hoo. Like, that's the reality. That's the
So I want
reality.
to know for this little side hustle we're doing here. I want to know. So you like it now? How did that change?
I do enjoy it, and I think it was because as I got older, I realized that I missed a lot of great cinema and a lot of great films because I was so Tarantino, Kevin Smith auteur when I wasn't really giving true indie love since they were both with Miramax, and Miramax was definitely not small time or indie at all. That's what anybody says. If you're making Oscar movies one after another, after another, after another, Yeah, you're not a minor. You're not an indie production company or a no. You're a full on studio.
Which reminds me, I got to rewatch Lucky Number 11. That was a good
Yeah,
a
rewatch it. I'll
rewatchable movie
rewatch
of the
it,
day.
and then we'll talk about it, man. Let's talk about number 7. Ah, here it is. Straight up. I mean, the guy who did the writing and directing, Stephen Merchant, you might remember him. He created this show called The Office in the UK. Some consider to be the greatest sitcom of all time. I debate that, but that's just me. You got you got a cavalcade. You got some really good actors that are playing the main roles. The mother was on Game of Thrones. The father, if you're an indie guy, you know who Edgar Wright is. He was in Shaun of the Dead, you big dumb bum.
Big dumb bum.
Big dumb bum. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, with no further ado, I want Kimmy to go first. Because this was on Kimmy's list. It was pretty high.
Oh,
Yeah, Kimmy, if that's your real name.
Yeah, go for it, Kimmy.
I love this movie so much because, well, A, I'm a Paige fan, and B, you see her struggle, and then the bond with her and her brother, and the turmoil that happened with that, where you see his jealousy and his enviness of it when she makes it and he doesn't. Like I don't think he ever makes it.
He makes it for a couple of months in AEW.
Yeah.
Oh, so it took him that long?
Yeah, because
It was very short.
Maria pulled those some strings, but then when she left, he left.
Yeah.
It's just it's got comedy, but it's also got the story of the family and it's a wrestling family. She was raised in the ring, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's mine. I don't talk long about stuff, but that's
all right. Go ahead, Shane.
I never even got a chance to saw it. It was so much hype to it though. But this was one that was good and meaning to see, but just never got a chance. But it is a great story though, about Paige's background though.
Yeah. What say you, Mr. Dry?
I think that I love the some of the other roles in the movie for some of the people, like the girl who was playing AJ. What's her name? She's also a wrestler.
Oh, Zelina Vega.
Yeah, Zelina Vega. Like, she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
She's actually a quite good little actress. But yeah, I love the background of the family and just like the brutes that they are, and just seeing like that's what I like about it, is getting to see the backstory of Paige, of Saraya, and some of the stuff I wasn't really fond of, but I really loved seeing the backstory. This is a good wrestling movie, but not a great one.
Okay.
It's not up there. It is where it is. It belongs where it is.
Okay. What do you think? Oh, you're the last one. I thought this should have been a little bit lower, but we're starting to get into more serious. Again, don't get me wrong. This is 100% produced by WWE in every way, shape, and fashion. All the camera angles look familiar because you see it on Raw, you see it on SmackDown. If you're trying to peg who is who, I guarantee you that Vince Vaughn's character is a combination of like 35 different people. They just wove them into one character.
I can see that.
Yep.
Pat Patterson is in there. Little Dusty Rhodes is in there. That's all I'm saying. But overall, I did enjoy this movie. I mean, you got some high-end actors in this. I guarantee you, they got paid millions upon millions of dollars. They're driving a car run by the sun and water, okay? Because of us four just bought that movie or rented that movie. Yeah, you big dummy. Ugh. Take it off the list. All right. I know which one we're going to be talking about next. We're going to be talking about Wrestling with Shadows. It is a film by Paul J. It is about Bret the Hitman Hart. I'm going to give it to this guy right here, Mr. Canada.
Now, the lightning that this guy catches in a bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and the timing of everything, it all unloaded in front of him, like it was like a gift.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know this is where it was going when all this was going down.
Yeah.
And what it would look like, but he captured it, and that's amazing. You really avails like Bret Hart. You really understand who Bret Hart is in this movie. And I think that's what I really love about it. You understand the turmoil that Bret Hart has as a wrestler and his art and all this stuff. And I think it also like it brings wrestling documentaries to the forefront. This thing explodes wrestling documentaries. So many documentaries get birthed because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And like it really brought wrestling documentaries to the forefront.
Yeah. 100%.
It's my favorite wrestling documentary.
Kimmy.
My favorite part of this movie, obviously, the same scene that I could watch over and over again, and that's when Bret knocks Vince right in the face.
And you see Vince walking into the
yeah,
walking away. Yeah,
it's a full on. I don't even know how to explain it. You just see I saw a different side of Bret. Like you saw the man that is the hitman, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And like for a documentary to have, like you said, it fall in his lap during that very day, like the Montreal Screwjob lives rent free in my head.
Yeah.
It's there all the time. So this just re-brought that up. But yeah, it was good. And I mean, even if you aren't a wrestling fan, you'll learn a lot when you watch it.
100%. Shane.
This was another movie. It was an amazing movie to come out. Like I was growing up in that right era, the right WCW, WWF peak era, and Beyond the Mat was around this same era too. It was just all these, and being a Bret the Hitman Hart fan growing up as a kid, and the entire Hart family and the Hart Foundation, like they were rock stars at that time, and
especially in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. And this showed how much in ways they were rock stars at the time, besides the whole Hart family lineage. Showed you behind the scenes with the whole dungeon at times, with including the famous audio tape where Owen and I can't remember the Bruce or whatever were recording a guy crying in the dungeon and stuff like that.
Was that Owen or Bruce?
Yeah, well, Owen, somebody recorded it either way. I know it was Owen who got that recorded. So
I also think there's a scene when Stu Hart grabs some chicken wings into this gross garbage container that he just found. Just threw them in here. Have some chicken wings.
And it shows him stretching somebody too during the documentary and stuff like that, and how much pain that like 20-year-old guy was in. And the guy's all jacked up and everything too. It was honestly the perfect movie for the time when you were growing up, like when you were an adolescent to teenage wrestling fan. This was and especially being a Bret the Hitman Hart fan, this was the right place at the right time when this came out.
One of my favorite parts in the movie is when Brad is talking about how his dad would punish him by putting him in stretchers.
Yeah.
And Brett would be talking about, like, I thought I was going to die, and I could picture the headlines. Wrestler goes too far, kills son.
I love this documentary. I saw it. Somebody sent me a link on YouTube because they knew I was a Bret Hart fan. They're like, she's like, hey, I know you like Bret Hart. Here, you got to watch this. It's really good. I said, what is this, something you guys picked? And she's like, no, I found somebody sent it to me on YouTube because they know you and they didn't know how to get in touch with you, that you would like this. I'm like, okay. So this is my second favorite documentary. I don't know what film he was planning on shooting, because he was shooting months before this even started. Because you get kind of an idea as you go through it that they've had another plan. So they had the story of Bret threatening to leave to go to WCW. Vince telling him, I can pay you $1 million for 20 years. Him taking that offer, telling WCW to go F themselves off. Then Vince realizes, oh shit, I got to really start paying these guys. They're at the lowest point. People, advertisers are leaving the your TV show network. People are wondering why you're not making money, since you have a primetime slot where they can be showing just about anything.
Yeah.
Advertisers are leaving. Audience doesn't care anymore because the hot product is the NWO.
Over
Right
at
down $9.95.
WCW.
Yeah, right down $9.95. Right into Hotlanta. So it's kind of like in your backyard.
Especially that was the area where people were jumping ship for the big money.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall starting the wave of it all.
Yeah. Them going ahead and saying they want guaranteed contracts.
Yeah.
Here's the thing for people who watch this that are not wrestling nerds like we are. Back in the day, you didn't have downside anything on your downside agreement on your contract or whatever the hell else you want to
No
talk
guarantee.
about. Yeah, nothing guaranteed or anything about you. Now WCW was bought by a billionaire, and he decided he wanted to go after another billionaire named Vince McMahon. So Ted Turner decides, I'm going to buy a wrestling company and I'm going to piss all over Vince McMahon, and damn near did it. Damn near did it. If Bret Hart signed originally when he was supposed to a year or two before, WCW would have nailed the final nail in the coffin with Bret Hart.
But there was actually years earlier, Ric Flair was trying to bring him to WCW.
Yeah.
When he was leaving the first time.
Yeah.
Actually, there was one thing I forgot to mention too, how impactful movie this was for Canada. When this movie got released, it shortly after was on Canadian TV's BCTV, which was I guess now global or no.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. It was on TV for free.
Yeah, it was on. Yeah, it was so. That's how much Bret Hart meant to everybody in Canada, especially that time.
How much he means.
Yeah, how much you mean? No, but I mean, especially that time. That's why I say meant, because that time in that era, Bret Hart was the god and rock star of Canada, and the fact that they had that documentary on BCTV within a couple weeks after released or whatever. It was pretty. It shows how much that guy meant to this country and that documentary and stuff.
Yeah, so Luna says, if I may give another doc recommendation, the Road Diaries are really good. The problem is, the audio is horrendous. Like they shot this on iPhones and like low quality, low end video equipment. Here's a little lesson: if you're gonna make a movie, invest more money in audio than you would in video. Sorry, I've seen movies shot on Super 8 just this year that look fantastic because it's going to sell because the sound quality is impeccable. I had to do no adjustments whatsoever. Whoever their mixer was and whoever their sound recordist was and whoever's on that sound team should win an award. Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. So let's go to number 5. Number 5 is Alive, Johnny 5. We're going to talk about my tied for second favorite documentary. This one and Shadows are my second favorite documentaries of all time. I'm talking about Shiki Baby. I'll put you in a camel clutch, Bubba. We are talking about the documentary about the Iron Sheik. Kimmy, go first.
Kimmy didn't watch this movie.
Oh.
So Kimmy's going to take a smoke break because I couldn't understand it, and I tried, and I fell asleep within the first 15 minutes.
Okay. You want to go first?
I'll go.
All right.
So I love the Sheik movie. The Iron Sheik, like, to me, the Iron Sheik was someone that, he's just a gimmick.
Yeah.
But then, like, once you really know who he is, and you hear his backstory, how he was a legit strongman in Iran.
Yeah. He was a guard for the Shah. The head presidente numero uno of Iran.
Yeah.
He was a personal bodyguard for her.
Those clubs he swings around is a real deal too. That is not an easy technique for exercise, and that club technique he does.
No.
Did we ever find out? Like, I don't think they talked about in this movie why he hates Hulk Hogan so much. Did they talk about that in this movie?
No, they do not.
That would have been good to know.
They briefly touch it. He doesn't like Hulk Hogan because he thinks Hulk Hogan is fake.
Yeah, that was it.
He thinks you're not seeing the real Hulk Hogan. When you talk to Sheik, when you meet the Sheik, you meet the real Sheik. When you meet Hulk Hogan, you meet Hulk Hogan, not Terry Bollea. He's never Terry Bollea around almost anybody. He's fake as shit.
Yeah, and I think also, like, I think they were friends at one point, but
yeah,
he got carried by Hulk.
Tired of his bullshit.
Yeah, he thinks, and they talk about it in the documentary. He thinks that those drugs were planted by Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
yeah.
But I really like this movie to see the struggle that Sheik is going through with all the surgeries and everything she needs and the drugs and everything. To see like him start up the Twitter accounts and just like Iron Sheik becomes this national treasure.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, go on social media and look up Sheik. The filmmakers are the ones who decided to get Sheik on internet, on social media, and that's what started the documentary. They started recording this, and Sheik. I mean, there's only 3 accounts I read on a daily basis. I reread Sheik's old tweets. I read Wendy's tweets. And an obscure filmmaker nobody's ever heard of, but he's killing it in England right now. And I always follow just to see how they're doing, what they're dealing with, what they're going through, stuff like that. Sheik is freaking amazing. Yeah, I break your back, make you humble, Bubba.
And,
We,
and little you know, I think it's in the movie that they reveal like jabroni is the Iron Sheik's thing,
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
and the Rock is when he was saying jabroni, he's like honoring the Sheik.
yeah. I mean that's a huge thing to get that kind of pop from a crowd from something that The Rock asked you if he could do it, and you're like, yeah, go right ahead. Like you know that. Oh God,
And
I
now it's like
love.
this. Now it's this thing that everyone says.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Some
yeah,
jabroni.
yeah. I use jabroni on a daily basis. I kid you not.
I
I
say
mean,
it too all the time.
yeah. I'll honk my horn and yell out jabroni out the car window as I'm driving by him.
Natalia uses jabroni a lot.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awesome when you get that chance. I mean, that's how important Sheik is to pop culture, not just wrestling. I mean, he's a god in wrestling, but pop culture wise, I mean, this man was on death's door
Yes.
without anybody knowing, and they kickstarted it. And I donated $10. I'm like, I didn't even know Sheik was that ill, that hurt.
He wanted to die at points because of the tragic stuff that's happened in his family over the years and stuff like
Yeah,
that too.
I
With his
mean,
daughter.
oh yeah, like you feel for the guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what? It's time to go to number 4. I absolutely love this movie. The Peanut Butter Falcon. I'm gonna actually let who wants to go first?
I never saw it, so I'll step out.
Okay, Kimmy, go ahead.
Sure.
I love this movie. This is my favorite movie on the list. It pulled on my heartstrings in all the right places. It was such a feel good movie, and I fell in love with each character.
Yeah,
Like, I'm really bad at remembering names. The boy's name is Zach, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, such an incredible actor. An absolute incredible actor. And he, like, when he's sitting on the bed in, like, the senior center and he's like, or the care home, he's like, I'm not old. Like, I felt for this kid.
Yeah.
And, like, him trying to escape with the pudding cup and drawing the picture and sliding it across, like,
Yeah.
and she's like pretending, and then he books it and gets tackled, like, and then he's just booking it down the road in his underwear because he just wants to get to the wrestling school, and
Yeah.
the whole movie just it melted my heart.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I just watched this for the first time last night,
Yeah.
and I love that they're using an actual Down syndrome person.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's legit doing this and rocking it.
Yeah.
And he did an amazing job. Like
100%.
Yeah.
that's really cool. I did enjoy seeing like Jake Roberts
Yeah.
and Mick Foley in this
Yep.
movie.
Yep.
And Jake's just being a dick.
Yeah. Jake's being Jake.
Yeah, but yeah, the what really got you was the rebuilding of this broken man
Yeah.
by this Down syndrome person,
Yeah.
and like they're like two lost souls.
That find each other.
Yeah, that find each other, and they both need each other.
Yeah.
And it's I almost have to say it's too beautiful.
Yeah.
Because
It absolutely is.
it's too beautiful because I don't believe the world is like that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that the kindness that
We want it to be that way.
yeah, what's this what we want it to be? I don't believe that people are kind like that. they're out there like that, and
Yeah.
it makes me question reality. I'm like, enough with your sugarcoating bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
I live it in it every single day, brother. I know exactly where you're coming from. I
yeah,
mean, the reality is that the majority voted for a man who, I kid you not, decided to have a Gatsby party, which if you've read The Great Gatsby would know it's about just exuberance. I guess it's the best way to put it. It's a book about excess. It's a
the
book
other thing,
about it's a book about the rich ignoring the poor. He
yeah.
threw a great Gatsby party on the night when SNAP benefits, which is our supplemental food for poor families. Okay, it
After
went
that was
out,
ended,
yeah, and went dead. And he had a party that cost the taxpayers over $150 million.
wow.
Now, here's the kicker: a judge said you have to reinstate the SNAP benefits. Everything was hunky dory until the Supreme Court came along and said, nope, you do Trump, you can ignore that and go ahead and eliminate SNAP benefits. Yeah,
Can we
I'm
get back to
happy
the
to be
movie?
Canadian. I'll just say that.
yeah,
Can we get back to the movie? I just want to say
yeah,
that I also hated the ending.
yeah.
The ending was weak sauce.
Yes.
Okay.
Like you had him wrestle, and you had him get hit on the head with the pipe,
Yeah,
and then then you're in the hospital for like 20 seconds, and
yeah,
then you see them drive into the car, and they're heading to Florida.
yeah,
I'm like that. What a shit ending is this?
yeah,
Well, they just wanted to. I think that at that point they just had to wrap it up quickly.
Yeah, I know. We're like he didn't wrap it up properly. That's all I'm saying. You gotta. My favorite thing about uh, any media, like whether it be a book, um, a short video, a movie, wrestling show, you got to have a good ending.
yeah.
That
It's
good
called
ending is so important.
so it's called the rush ending. I know because I put one together. Um, a movie will get tested to see its viability, what the audience thinks, and the audience all wanted a better ending than the bleak one that they had, and so they did reshoots and did what's called a rush edit, where they just piecemeal it together. It's a rush edit because you feel rushed. They
Wait,
kind of just dump
tell me
everything on.
this: did they originally kill off the guy?
I don't know, but I know they had
I
a
feel
dark
like
ending.
that's what it led to. He's
Yeah,
dead, and then
I was freaking out the first time I saw it. I was like, "There's no way!
Yeah,
Like that's gonna crush Zach. Like what happens to him? What happens to him now?"
yeah, exactly.
yeah. So that whole thing is just like at the end.
Yeah, it was rushed. Unfortunately, that's what happens. So let's get to number 3. This is my all-time favorite documentary. We talked about Ready to Rumble. We're going to talk about The Dark Side. The name of the movie is called You Cannot Kill David Arquette. WCW basically strapped a belt, the world championship, the same world championship that Ric Flair had, the same belt that Dusty Rhodes carried. So many wrestlers ahead. Diamond Dallas Page. I mean, Sting, Hogan. I mean,
Real wrestlers.
yeah, real wrestlers. And the internet wrestling community lost their ever living, loving shit out of it. It is still talked about to this day, and David Arquette is ridiculed about it every single time because he didn't come up in wrestling like Hulk Hogan. He didn't come up into wrestling like Ric Flair. He didn't come up into wrestling like this or like that. he was
made
thrusted
a tag movie and got a belt.
And Bischoff even admits, by God, we should never have done that. It wasn't fair to him. It wasn't fair to him. We put him in that position and we didn't protect him.
Yeah.
So David Arquette has carried this. And by the way, I'm David Arquette. I'm bipolar as well. And even on good days with my medication, sometimes you get swings like there's no tomorrow. Because that's the reality of being bipolar. I met David Arquette a couple of years ago with my beautiful, beautiful love of my life, Jess, and I'm trying to find it. Where is it? That is us and David Arquette.
Nice.
And what's really cool is that we talked about wrestling. I didn't talk about the documentary because I didn't want to be that guy. But yeah, we talked about wrestling. We just talked about AEW, and I talked to him about. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. But yeah, so what David Arquette decides to do is he's gonna go ahead and become a professional wrestler, and he's gonna do it the right way. He's gonna earn his stripes. So he wrestles in a backyard, a person's actual backyard, in a death match with guys who don't like him because they felt like he wrote himself in the Hollywood ending and all this other stuff. And Tiff's right. So he decides to earn his respect back. There is a scene where he's wrestling with in the same promotion, PWG, with Jungle Boy. He gets into a GCW match with Nick Cage. For those who don't know who Nick Cage is, Nick Cage is a death match specialist. His posse is called MDK, Murder, Death, Kill. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Convicted convict.
Yeah, convicted convict. The guy wears a mask to the ring, but decided not to wear a mask when he robbed a bank.
Yeah.
Smart.
I mean, come on. Huh? Come on.
Yeah, you wear a different wrestler on your mask, so then you don't get blamed. It's like, oh, it's fucking Rey Mysterio. Look at he's stealing.
Yeah.
You should have worn a rubber Hulk Hogan mask.
That would be great.
Gave me an idea for a movie. We're gonna do Point Break, but with wrestlers. So he almost gets killed. Luke Perry takes him to the hospital. He earns his stripes in ways that you could not understand or believe. Who wants to talk about you cannot kill David Arquette?
I've only saw clips, but that whole thing with him, he literally was inches from dying.
Yeah.
Because of that whole match and taking the light tube bulbs or something like that the wrong way to the jugular. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
He turned his body. The guy had the broken end of the tube to up here, and he was down like this. He popped up and then turned, and he cut himself. David Arquette cut himself. In no way, shape, or form did Nick Cage almost kill him. David Arquette almost killed himself.
No, that was but either way, he almost died. Like he was inches from dying.
Yeah.
Was it the light bulb tube or was it the pizza cutter?
It was the light tube.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was shards. Yeah, because I think they had to pull out while they were stitching them out, the shards out and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. And I think I merged him on and his match with Chris Jericho with the pizza cutter.
Yeah. Go to a Domino's Pizza ad in the States.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this because they did a good job capturing who David Arquette is.
Yeah.
And just like what makes David Arquette tick.
Yeah.
And that's what they really did is they like, and just like going back to the trauma of being the WCW World Champion. It was a
Yeah.
trauma. Like, I don't think he asked for it. I think it was just thrust on him, and
Because
he's
they're
like,
ready to
"Okay,
rumble.
this is show business. How fun is this? I'm in
Yeah.
show business."
And the thing is that they made mention that David Arquette got typecast because of Scream, and that the end result was Ready to Rumble was the only thing he could really book. And he even expressed while he was driving his car that auditions are drying up, that nobody's taking him seriously, and so he needs to find his passion. And if it means making $250 at a wrestling show, then he's going to do it.
Isn't that where you got the name for this movie too? If I'm not mistaken, because of the Scream thing, he used that as you can't kill him based on the fact that his character in Scream never died.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other
You
thing I
can't
like
kill
is
David
that
Arquette.
by the end of the movie, he's living the dream. He's a real wrestler.
Yeah, he's a legit wrestler. He hires Peter Avalon, who wrestled in AEW, and many a times in indie circuits. And
Hollywood
it's
Championship Wrestling.
yeah, he's a Hollywood Championship wrestler. Yeah, and I mean, you see RJ City in there. You see Nick Cage. You see, you see a lot of like old school wrestlers, like and like legit indie guys before they broke big with AEW, like and gave them a platform. I mean, nobody ever unless you always watch PWG. Unless you watch Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So let's go to our next movie. We are going to go to number 2. We talk about the dark side of wrestling. We talked earlier about this family. We are talking about the movie Iron Claw. For those who don't know, the movie deals with the tragedy of the Von Erich. Fritz Von Erich was a promoter in Texas and created World Class Championship Wrestling, WCCW. And in the process of doing that, he went ahead and set up so that his sons would follow in his footsteps and become a wrestler and eventually take over the business. And that's exactly what they tried to do. And in the process, all but one son died. 3 of them murdered themselves. One was electrocuted, and one died of natural cause. Well, not natural causes, but of an illness. He didn't kill himself. So, Kevin Von Erich is played by Zac Efron, is amazing. He was told through most of the production to not cry because he wanted the final day of shooting was going to be the final scene, and he wanted to let it out. Wait till you see number 1, then you'll see where we're going. But it's really dark and it's really mysterious and it's very vulnerable and it puts you in a very uncomfortable spot a lot of the times. Shane, what are your thoughts?
The whole family history was so dark that the actual producers and director decided not to even add one more brother that died in the movie because they're like, this was already sad and depressing enough, these deaths happening in our movie. We're not going to add the other brother. I mean, I'm not trying not to laugh or joke about. But that's how dark the history was. This movie really, really touched heartstrings. Um, MGF got a role into it too. It took me a while. I didn't get to see it right off the bat when everybody was talking, and it was talked about on this program before. I mean, on AFW networks before, but when I finally got a chance to watch it, it was like, holy God! Like it's just a punch in the gut. Especially the final scene when he's with his sons. That's the most heart when he's and then just them going, "Oh, we'll be your brother, Dad."
It's okay to cry.
Yeah, but yeah, just they're like, "We'll be your brother, Dad." It was like, oh my god, it was such a well written, well acted movie. But yeah, at the same time, God, it was depressing, and then a depressing ending too. It almost it was one of those movies that almost did make me cry at the end. So
yeah, it was definitely a great movie. Like you guys touched on everything basically. On that, I was gonna say too, like the final scene with his sons, like it's okay to cry, and like he finally cries. And like my dad was a huge Von Erich fan, like back in the day, like that's what I call my dad style stuff, right? And it broke my heart that he wasn't around to see this movie. I wish my dad could have watched this movie because it would have just to see it with him would have been even more special. But I definitely, when I watched it with my dad in mind because, like, he told me about the stuff, and I was just like, before the movie, I was like, this is insane. Like, and it based on actual shit.
yeah,
Just deep, dark stuff, man.
I mean, you got to remember too that Fritz von Erich was cursed because there were several wrestlers that he specifically trained that died. Gino Hernandez, Bruiser Brody. I mean, those are two that were trained by Fritz, and they all died mysteriously or viciously or violently. You know,
He did like what happened? Like, how do you end up with that kind of bad karma?
I mean, he pissed off somebody upstairs. He pissed off somebody. I mean, it's one of the great curses.
But as far as this movie goes, I don't like the structure of anything about this movie.
Oh, really?
Like, I like that. I like that it tells the story of the Von Erich family, but I think it's flip flopping all over the place. It doesn't have a central character that you need to fall in love with.
Yeah.
It. I don't like how they told this story at all, and I think that it's good for wrestling to be forefront like this, but I don't think they did the best possible movie that could have been made for this family.
He did. So somebody brought up Chris Adams. Yeah, he did train Chris Adams as well.
Yes, and Chris Adams had some crazy stories.
Yeah.
And fun fact too, Fritz started at the dungeon.
Yeah.
None of this whole thing would have ever happened if he never went to Stu Hart to begin with. Like that's what it was crazy. Like I only found that fact out like not even that long ago. When
why you say we come on down to the dungeon?
Welcome to the dungeon. I mean, I get where Aaron's coming from. They do tell what's called a non-linear narrative, where you are not on a central timeline, but you do have a central character. It is Kevin Von Erich. Kevin Von Erich is your central character.
Yeah, that's Zac Efron's character, right?
Yeah, it's his story. It's his POV.
But they don't establish that. They don't make you fall in love with this character, though.
You're not supposed to fall in love with anybody. You're supposed to feel nothing but pure tragedy.
I know, and that's what I don't like about it. Like,
yeah, it's a very much an A24 film. A24 is a mid-major production company and distributor. They love those offbeat movies where it doesn't really tell a fully linear storyline or a fully linear story. This is a very non-linear in points. They go back and forth and up and down quite a bit. So, I'll give you a linear story if you want. Let's go to number one. I hope you guys have your tissues and I hope you have some Thorazine because you're going to need it. We're talking about Darren Aronofsky's film called The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
well, I'm here.
So, just like Beyond the Mat, there's a lot of similarities between Beyond the Mat and The Wrestler. The Wrestler talks about Randy the Ram Robinson a former, I would say, Hellwig central character. In fact, they do reference him. They call him a Hellwig type. Oh no, that was in Beyond the Mat. I take that back. Never mind. Anyways, but he looks like the Ultimate Warrior, and he was on the top of his game. And soon enough, fans forgot about him, and now he's wrestling in VFW halls and laundromats and underground pits, and he's wrestling in CZW, which was my first introduction to CZW. Was through this movie. Also GCW.
ROH.
ROH. Yeah, the final match takes place in ROH. It's a very sad, it's a very depressing, it's a very Darren Aronofsky film. For those who don't know who Darren Aronofsky is, he wrote and directed the movie Pi, about a mathematician that goes mad and goes into the depths of his own head to try to figure out a math equation. He wrote and directed Black Swan. And here's a little interesting fact. Black Swan, the movie Black Swan, which is about a ballerina, and the wrestler was supposed to be one film.
What?
They were supposed to be one film. She fell in love with the wrestler because of the dichotomy. I mean, in reality, a wrestler is nothing more than a ballet dancer. I mean, the choreographed moves that they go throughout the entire match, the highs and the lows and the dips, everything is choreographed.
It is like a ballet, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a ballet. It's just so happens that sometimes one ballet dancer hits another ballet dancer with a chair in the back or cuts her with a pizza cutter. Anything can happen. It's bloodline rules, my friend. That's an inside joke with me and Jess, but yeah.
If a ballerina wants to give me a sharpshooter, I'll let her.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like, it's a really dark movie, but it deals with the reality is, and I'm going to spoil it for you guys out there.
That's on you.
Yeah, it's on me. He has a heart attack, a massive heart attack. Is told not to wrestle. If he does, he'll die. He decides that he wants to invest his energy into a stripper that he can't have because she won't let him. You get to the end where he's going to wrestle the rematch with the Ayatollah, his arch nemesis from way back when. He invites her there. She doesn't show up initially. He decides, fuck it, I'm going to go with this. She had a chance to stop him once. He's climbing the ropes. You can hear the ringing in his ears. You can see he is damn near ready to die. He looks over to where she was standing. She's not there. He says, fuck it. He does the move. And they fade to black. You can come up with your own determination.
Yeah.
I would say probably the vast amount of us would probably say he died. What do you guys think of the wrestler?
It was definitely a dark, gritty movie, and it showed, like, again, that dark side of wrestling and what happens when they get to the point that, they're no longer TV worthy.
Yeah.
And where it goes from there in their life.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Main reason why I was here, when I heard you guys talk about this earlier today, this top 10, I was like, this movie, I'm like, no, I had to be here because of this movie specifically and how many nerves it's touched my life. There's a lot of comparison to Beyond the Mat with Jake Roberts to how this movie is presented, where Ram Jam's life with his daughter is non-existent.
Yeah.
He's still partying. He's still doing drugs like Jake Roberts is doing in that said movie. He's stuck going to these conventions, these stupid shitty autograph signings, wrestling booking or indie event, really low budget indie places in a gymnasium, like Jake Roberts was in Beyond the Mat. Like there's so much comparisons to this character in Jake Roberts. It's not even funny whether it was the intention or not. I mean, in the long run, you could also throw in Scott Hall's name, where there's a lot of comparisons to Scott Hall and this guy, or a few other insert professional wrestler that's lived a pretty bad, horrible lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that whole love story at the end where so he doesn't exactly even first he's not even going to do the match because he's just going to try to fix his life, try to fix shit with his daughter. But after he had one bad bender again, everything went to shit in his life again. So got sick of his job, the job that he was being bullied by his boss every freaking day, taking shit from customers. He just had enough that one day, snap, punched the meat grinder or the meat slicer.
Yeah.
Throwing everything at the store and stuff for that. And it just goes to show there's a lot of human side to this movie, professional wrestler or not. Or just where a guy just took enough shit in his life and he goes, I can't do it anymore. And in ways he just killed himself. Like in ways it was a suicide and to do this final match and especially to go off the top rope and the whole ending, the Ram, I'm here, like I'm finally here. That point, if it was maybe a few days ago and she stopped him then, that match probably would have not happened and the love story happened. But the fact that she literally caught him at 0 hour where he's just now officially just stopped giving a fucking life and it's now too late. And that whole ending gets me every time. I've watched this movie about 10, 15 times at least now and stuff like that, including dark times in my life just because of that near the last 30 minutes of that movie and how dark it gets and stuff like that. And it really is. But I'm glad this is number one because it is literally one of not just my favorite wrestling movie, but got to be in my top 5, 10 favorite movies of all times in general.
Yeah. What do you think, Aaron?
I really, really love this movie.
Yeah.
It what it really encapsulates is like he mentioned, like, you know, Jake Snake Roberts. But you could put in any name here.
Yeah.
You really can, because what wrestling does is it eats you up and spits you out and gets you addicted to the fame and the spotlight and the crowd and the roars.
Yeah.
And at one point it ends and you don't got no life skills.
Yeah.
You've only had professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So this movie really captures that in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That wrestling industry eats you up, spits you out.
And lose your family.
Yeah, and it leaves an addiction to that fame that's no longer there, and you're there collecting peanuts just to, you know, hold on to that.
It's about highs. It's about getting high on the fame, getting high on the rush of the crowd. I mean, that rush of that crowd that just tells you, like, you're doing a good job, you're awesome, we love you. You know, the holy shit chants.
The desperation
of
him wanting to play that video game with the kid on his Nintendo.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The desperation of that. Like, please, still love me. I'm Randy the Ram. Like,
and
the kid's like, no, I've got better things to do.
Well, in the other scene too, where he's like, "Hey, give this to your kid." You know, I heard it's about $300-400. She goes, "Really?" He goes, "No, not really," because he realizes it's probably not even worth what it costs to buy it. You know, because it's not a package, it's not pure. So, but it's also the highs of doing drugs and the highs of keeping the perfect body with steroids. You know, doing the lines of drugs. I mean, it's about the highs. It's about getting high. That's really what this movie is about, which is sad because it's all bottomed out. And the high is the only thing that's keeping him from killing himself until he just doesn't have anything left to give. And he decides, I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory. I'm going to go out giving him the Ram Jam. So
he was booked as Hulk Hogan, like in this movie, the way he was booked. But then just the fact that the whole trying to get with this woman and things, that's where there's a lot of comparison in my lifetime too. Is that specific, that part too, and it's just, yeah, it's that movie's just so well written in every aspect.
Yeah. If you want to take a little walk on the dark side, I watch it when I'm depressed.
Yeah, yeah, like saying.
In fact, I watch mostly Aronofsky films when I'm depressed.
And you're like, at least I'm not Randy the Ram.
Then I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
oh
I
wait,
just
I
cry.
am with the
I just
stripper.
curl up in a. I don't kid around. I curl up on the couch and just cry watching this movie and watching any Aronofsky movie because it's just mentally disturbing. So, guys, that's the end of the show. I know what we're going to do next week. So Kimmy made a suggestion about it a few weeks ago. I'm going to let you guys ask me questions like favorite movies. What does a gaffer do? Like, I'm going to let you guys just come on and just ask questions, and I'll post something on the social medias and have people can write questions in, or you can come interact with us. And yeah, I want everybody to start asking me questions about movies and TV shows, and either like what's my favorite or what's rattling in my. I want to preface this by saying, if you really want to get my attention for the question, what's been rattling in your head is a great question, because I get certain things that just sit in my head all day long and they just rattle. And like right now, it's Brick City L's. His music is just rattling in my brain just constantly. I just love his raps, and I love what he does. And he's a Day Zero original with AFW. I mean, that guy was one of our third co-hosts for a few episodes. So
Big City L.
yeah, Brick City L. So all the social media and your links are down below. SW Saber links are down below. All that other fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're gonna do next week. Since it's close to the holidays, everybody's getting off the high of Full Gear on Saturday. So we'll
And tomorrow, we're
yeah.
releasing the very first episode of Kimmy Chat.
Yeah.
The AFW films. This
Yeah.
is something she made, and she's excited to show you.
All right. Everybody stay on when we go offline. I got to talk to you guys about something. So, all right. On behalf of Shane, on behalf of Kimmy, on behalf of Aaron, I am James, and we will see you on. Well, I think we'll see you on the cutting room floor. Have a good day.